1、2、3、4。
Eins, zwei, drei.
In this video, I'm going to show you how we add labels, dimensions, and a third angle orthogonal symbol to our drawing. Let's get started with the labels. The labels sit at 10 millimeters from the drawing with a line height of 5 millimeters. So mark out your spaces clearly, 10 and 5, working right across the drawing to make sure that your lines are straight. Nice light construction lines are used. Ensuring everything's parallel. Write your labels with neat capitals, neat sans serif capitals. Front view and right side view. Okay, now it's time to start our dimensions. Dimensions run on lines 10 millimeters again from the object. Draw some neat light construction lines for where you're going to place your dimensions. Most of the previous construction lines are going to help in this regard. I'm going to dimension the outside here as well. Okay, I've got some construction lines in place. It's time to start drawing the dimensions. The projection line starts from just outside the object and goes to just past the dimension line. The dimension line goes neatly in between the two projection lines. Draw some arrowheads 1 millimeter wide by about 3 long. Let's consider our vertical measurement here. Don't forget your construction lines. Again, using a 1 millimeter standoff from the object. Arrowheads. And it's time for some numbers. 60. Now I'm going to do an intermediate dimension on this side. So I need a new projection line here. I might heavy that in now. Note that the projection lines have a 1 millimeter standoff and then carry on just past the dimension line. Arrowheads again. And add the dimensions. Okay, now it's time for this one on this side. arrowheads. Trying to keep your arrowheads pretty thin to match the 1/3. The numbers go on the same side of the dimension lines on all sides of the drawing. Dimensions for a circle: use a leader that leads to the center of the circle. Make sure your set square is even with the edge of the page and points to the center. Your line doesn't start in the center, but it leads to the center. Draw a leader coming to the outside of the circle and a small crank here. Use the dimension sign 24 and an arrowhead. In a similar way, the arc is dimensioned, and I'm going to dimension that on the outside. There are several different ways of doing this. You can consult the VCAR technical drawing specifications for a variety of ways. 5. Well, that's the dimensions finished. It's time now to form up the third angle orthogonal symbol. It's customary to do it in the top right hand corner of the drawing. It works in units of 16 and 8. 16 for the cone, 8 for the gap, and 16 for the large circle. Making sure that I hold my set square perpendicular here. (16) across. I need a center at 8. Draw that in lightly, and I need a center for the circle, again at 8. Transcribe a circle on here, 16 for the outside circle, taking care to get it nice and in the center if I can, and 8 for the inner circle. Alright, time now for the cone shape, which is 8 across, 4 and 4 make 8. Heavy in the cone shape. And then let's not forget our centers. Center chain, like that. There's the circle done, and our chain line for the cone. Well, there's the drawing finished to this stage. So I've shown you how we do the labels and dimensions. We've got overall dimensions, intermediate dimensions, dimensions for a circle, dimensions for an arc, and finally the third angle orthogonal